I bet it was all good things. I bet it was all good things, right?
I hope so.
Well, we are live. Hello, and welcome to Pixel Pints. We are the only global gaming podcast that covers two great things, which is good beer and video games. I'm your host, Mitch. And guess what? We're doing it super early this week because we have an all-American cast version, so we don't need to worry about other time zones. So Burkhoff and I decided we wanted to do it early today. So all the way in Las Vegas in the same time zone, I got Burkhoff. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. When we get to the beer section, you'll see that I'm drinking the cheapo shit again. I had to take my truck in to get some service done today, and that was like $800.
Oh no! Oh, I hate when that happens.
Well, I knew it was coming, so
okay.
It was like all the fluids. So I just needed all the fluids changed. So power steering, oil,
transmission.
Not transmission. I did power steering, oil, the rear differential.
Maybe I did do transmission on mine because I'm a stick shift. Like mine's a stick shift vehicle, so I think I have to do it on that for that reason.
No, you have to do it for automatics too. Just mine wasn't ready for it yet. But coolant flush, brake fluid flush, all that stuff. So
I think because I had to do transmission as well, it cost me like $1,200. It was like super expensive.
My oil pan does have a leak. But it's not severe yet. And so that alone is going to be like $700.
Yeah, my first car was like that.
If it's not serious, I'll just hold off and I'll do that next time.
Yeah, my first car was kind of like that. It leaked oil just slowly. And then I got my grandma's car, that car sat in like a garage for like 2 years and ended up, because it sat and was not used, a lot of the parts kept breaking on me. And everyone thought like, oh, this would be a good replacement because you'll never have to like put money into it. And all of a sudden, like about a year and a half in, I had to keep putting like $500 into that vehicle like every 6 months. I was just like,
what kind of car was it?
It was a 2000 Buick Century.
Oh, all right, okay.
It was a real oldie car, like Buicks back then. Whew. those weren't good looking vehicles back then. So, and they were big too. Like the frame of it was just massive. I felt like I was driving like a car truck. It was like for how big how wide it was, because it was a 6-seater. Like someone could sit in the middle in the front seat.
Right. Yeah, I had the bench seats. Yeah, I think the Century was built on the same platform as the Impala of the same model year.
Well, enough about cars anyway. This is Pixel Pints, where we talk about good beer and video games. We stream here on Twitch at twitch.tv/pixelpints every single weekend. If you want to listen to us, go there. And then you follow us on Twitter, which is pixel_pints. That's when we post when we're going live on Twitch. We archive our episodes here on YouTube and on Twitch. Just look at just search Pixel Pints on YouTube. We're right there. Also, we are on all podcasting services around the globe. So,
I want to say too, we got a new person in the Discord. I don't know if you've said hello to them yet.
No, I have not.
So we always announce that we're going live on Twitter, but I think we should probably start announcing that we're going to go live on Instagram, because apparently this was somebody that was following us on Instagram, and they got this super secret Discord code to be able to come join us in the Discord.
Oh, that's who the new person is. I was wondering who that was. I was trying to figure that out for the longest time. But yeah, we also are on Instagram. If you follow us on Instagram at Pixel Pints Pod, you'll find announcements of our stuff. You also find cool pictures. We just kind of like run the gambit. Like, we're not making money off this. We just have fun. So like, it's just a good place to be. But yes, that's how you find us. It's great. And we go live each and every weekend. The other thing is the Xbox Showcase is tomorrow. We're still figuring it out, but we might have a special show watching the showcase live.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that we can get all the coordination to work, because we just thought of this extremely last minute. As of
literally like 2 minutes before we started. He's
2 minutes before the show.
Xbox Showcase.
Yeah, realizing, hey, it's in the morning. I mean, I might have time, so we might have a show. We'll see. But if you want to know, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. That's where we're going to post if we're going to go live for that showing. And you can watch it with us, which would be really fun because we have the technology.
We have the technology.
Anyway, so we talk about two great things. First is good beer. So let's get on to that first.
I know, Mitch. You are. I'm gonna get mine out of the way because you've got the good shit.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, we have an evening show for once for us, so we're not. It's not like, oh my god, it's not 6 a.m, 7 a.m, so we can't drink.
Yeah, but yeah. So I got the cheapo stuff. I got Miller Lite.
All right.
So that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Nice.
But you've got some special beers.
Well,
because this is something you've been holding on to.
I just had one.
Yeah. Okay.
That I didn't finish from the birthday beers, because I had 3 of them and you guys picked, and then I had one left over from the birthday beer bash. So let me get some ASMR of that zipper cooler. So this one was the Spanish Marie blue raspberry cotton candy.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm curious if it's going to be too sweet.
So beer name blue raspberry cotton candy, 5%, style sour, blue raspberry cotton candy, coconut, vanilla ice cream, and cinnamon are the flavor profiles.
So it's kind of all over the place. Yeah.
Yep. Brewed in Miami, Florida.
Interesting.
Yeah, the can looks awesome. So let's just dive in. Dive into it. Like, why not? Oh my god. I can't like put it up to you and turn it because I'd spill on my keyboard. But literally, I just see blue liquid. All right, let's see.
I don't know if beer's supposed to be that blue, dude.
Oh shit! Hopefully this goes well.
Yeah, no, wow, they dyed it for sure. Surprised there's a little bit of head.
Just a little bit. It looks more caffeinated than actually like beer
head.
It looks. Yeah. Oh my god. It smells interesting. Holy shit. Okay. Well, let's give it a go. Cheers.
Launch it.
Drink responsibly. No breweries or beer companies are sponsoring us, but if you want to, reach out to us on Twitter.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
Is it good?
Whoa. I'm not sure. It's not.
Maybe for one of them it would be good, and then like another one would be too much.
No, like, okay, so literally I listed all those flavors. I literally taste every single one of those flavors. Oh shit. What? Evan.
What is Evan doing?
What are you doing? You throw the show up. I have it all set. I'm just kidding, I fixed it.
No, I can't
up.
I can't stay on.
But you wanted to see the blue beer?
Oh my god. What the hell is that?
So here are the flavors, and I swear I taste every single one of them. And it actually I'm tasting them in order too, which is freaky as hell. I taste sour, blue raspberry cotton candy, then I taste a little bit of coconut, then I taste some vanilla. It must be from the vanilla ice cream, and then at the end I taste cinnamon. No joke.
Ooh, that all went together until the cinnamon. That's weird. What is it? What's the style? Is it a sour?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a sour.
Weird.
Yep, it's a sour style.
The only way they could have got that blue is if they used real blueberries, right?
You would hope so. Like, why?
Right.
Why would you throw a bunch of artificial coloring in a beer, right? Oh
right.
Yeah. I'm guessing that you would think that they would be using like a lambic, right? You're going to use actual
fruit.
Is it raspberries or whatever?
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I'll finish it. It's just
a
weird
lunch
as
break
hell.
for 20 minutes, 20 more minutes. So
okay. Well, we can move on to games, and you can hang out for 20 minutes while we cover stuff.
let's dig into the show. Yeah.
Well, let's dig it in. So
you're recording right now?
we're recording
yeah.
right now. So
Oh,
welcome to the
shoot.
show, Evan.
Oh man,
All the way
okay.
from Japan. While
Sorry,
he's
I did not know that.
So, all right, so let's just hop into it. We are talking all about Summer Game Fest. Yes, Geoff Keighley bestowed upon us greatness. And did he deliver? That's for us to decide. Burkoff, did the man deliver?
I think so, dude. I think it was a great show, honestly. Like I enjoyed it. I know there was a couple of moments there that was like kind of like, whatever. But for the most part, like it was an exciting showcase. And there was a lot of good shit, I think.
What do you think, Evan? Did he deliver?
I was actually kind of disappointed. I think we're at one of those years where we're not going to. We didn't hit a time when all of these amazing games are about ready to be shown in some regards, so that they just have a huge chunk of games that are just going to knock our socks off, and that's fine. Like,
I guess what were you expecting?
Well, I mean, I guess it's obviously subjective. It just a lot there did not interest me. So I'm not necessarily talking about volume of the games, because there are games there that, like Mortal Kombat 1, I don't play fighting games. It looked cool, but that's not on my list. So
Right.
just in terms of the games that I'm interested in, I would say it's just there wasn't a lot there for me. And other people, like, maybe it hits a big list of things that they were excited about and that they saw, but I don't know. When the second or third best game of the show for me is Under the Water, that, I don't know, that kind of says something about. I mean, that's kind of a backhanded compliment to the game, but like, you would think that there'd be a couple of other heavy hitters for, not E3. Especially since Summer Games Fest has been chugging along for the last couple of years. This seems to be comparatively one of the weaker years, at least for me.
Oh, wow.
All right, so since you're not going to be able to stay on the entire time, top 3 games of the show. What were your top 3 games?
Oh, man. I don't even remember.
If you check the Discord topic section, we have an article with a list of all the titles. While you've come up with those, Evan, I will give my thoughts. I agree, I'm with Burkoff. I think this was a great show. For what Geoff Keighley, for having a PlayStation showcase, a Xbox showcase, and Ubisoft having another showcase later, and Bethesda having stuff, like, for basically having E3 happen around him, he was able to grasp up a lot of things, including things I was shocked to see.
I mean, he's kind of kicking off the unofficial E3 this year, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And
that's kind of the way I feel.
Yeah, and I mean, he got genuine surprises, and when he said he had good stuff, he backed it up. I was shocked. I was like, Geoff Keighley, he knows games, and he wouldn't say like he has a really good thing. Like the whole, I think it was like, in the back of my mind, he was probably laughing so hard when he was talking about Final Fantasy, and then he was like, oh, and speaking of Final Fantasy, and everyone's thinking like, oh my god, he's gonna show Seven, the second game of the 7 remake series, and then he just goes DoorDash is, and like everyone's just laughing. But then in the back of mind, he's like, oh, you all don't know, I got the trailer and I'm closing this stuff with it. But like, he's I mean, I was shocked at Prince of Persia. Like the first game, out of nowhere, my colleagues and I were speculating, being like, I think that's Prince of Persia, and it like feels like Prince of Persia, but is that Prince of Persia? And then like, kind of getting the confirmation with the title at the end. Like having these slow, even if it was like in a smaller game or a bigger game, he definitely had some heavy hitters. Like he had the like, Sony could have put the date of Spider-Man 2 on their showcase. They chose not to do that. Like, the difference between the 2 weeks of those for how much prep work is done, there's no way they could have not had that on their own showcase. They chose to give it to Keighley, which, like, that speaks a lot for how much Keighley has influence. So I mean, for how much stuff he had, for how much the playing field is loaded already, I think it was actually a really good show. And the pacing was pretty amazing for the most part, except for a lull in the middle. But I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a lot of other stuff that might have not have otherwise had a platform
hmm
in a traditional E3 year.
yeah.
Um, so like Witchfire, I thought looked really cool. Um, the Star Trek 4X game, I don't think that. I mean, that would have been been forgotten in a normal E3 year, but having this, front loaded before all the other showcases, that's there. Baldur's Gate 3, reminding people about that. New Eden is an interesting new, Don't Nod game, like a Dragon Gaiden. There was a lot of stuff in here that was like, oh wow, like it got front loaded and sort of kicking stuff off for the week. So
Well,
I think it's cool.
Professor Evan, what are the 3 games that said, "Oh, that's Evan quality"?
All right, I'll give the 3 games, and then I want to just make a comment, Mitch, about some stuff that you highlighted as well. I would say Alan Wake 2 looks awesome. I never owned an Xbox until the Series S. Now I'm wondering why I bought that damn thing in March. Kind of a waste of money. Uh, but Alan Wake 2 looks awesome. I like that. I don't know much about the first game. Apparently, it was more of an action, more
Yeah.
shooty game. This one looks
It's mechanically not great. Don't play it. I tried.
yeah.
The mechanics
I
are
think
so bad. It's not.
They
It's
haven't
not.
aged.
They aged
well.
badly, very bad.
Okay, but yeah, I like.
And apparently, you
it's-
don't have to play it. He made it clear you don't have to play the original to jump into this one.
That's smart. I think they know that those
Mhm.
games haven't. That game hasn't aged well, so they just thought, you know what? Let's just tell people it's okay to play this one. It's the smartest thing they could say. But I just like the atmosphere. Like looks awesome, and they did the whole. I don't know about you, Mitch, but when she goes into that building, and the guy with the deer mask who busts
Mhm.
through the wall, that reminds me of the basement bloater fight from one of the flashback sections of The Last of Us Part 2. I had those kind of vibes. But I like I'm getting some control vibes from there, and you go into the refrigerator and open it, and there's you kind of search around and you see like tattooed heart. Just the idea of a tattooed heart as some object you have to deal with is just, I don't know, just some cool stuff in there. The second game is Like a Dragon 7 Gaiden. I don't. It's got a different name in Japan. I think it is Like a Dragon 7 Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a mark for that stuff. I am worried that like in one of the I saw a snapshot of Kiryu punching a guy, and the guy that he's punching, like that's the same, unsurprisingly, character model from Part 6. That's the
Come
same
on.
bad guy from Part 6 that came out in 2016. Of course, they're gonna
The
reuse
combat looks a
people.
little
It's like,
better though.
That's yeah, they're gonna keep the same development techniques. I don't think that it looks bad though.
no, and he's got like some weird powers in it. They're playing around with it. I really hope they have a new location. When they showed him at
It looks like a new
uh,
location.
yeah, well,
It looks like a
they
mixture,
showed that
old
like
stuff, and then like you
Yeah,
open
yeah.
the gate to this new area, this new
yeah,
dimension.
usually like all like the casino red light district stuff was under the city, right, in the
Yeah.
sewers. So maybe
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's another manhole that is undiscovered, or
No,
I
this
was
is
like,
a
oh,
giant wall because it looks like it's dimension breaking content right now. Like this looks like
yes.
it's like breaking the fourth wall in so many ways.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's at a lower price point as well, which I appreciate. I think it's like 5,000 yen in Japan. And then the third one was that Under the Waves game. I'm just kind of a mark for these. I say Firewatchy games, even though I didn't like Firewatch that much, but those types of games are always nice
The
to play.
walking simulator.
The walking simulators, to say. Virginia was another game that I really
I yeah,
like.
I don't quite know
Sorry,
what to make of that
I
game.
just have to say I'm retiring this beer. I can't. I can't.
Beer
What?
update.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Two
I've taken
sips,
like
that's it. Like,
I've taken like 5 more sips and I can't go no more.
Dude, it looks
oh
like a
wow,
7-Eleven icy. It's like,
it does. It looks like a melted icy.
Melted icy,
And it-
yeah.
and it looks as thick as an icy looks.
After
And
it melts.
you know what? I'm not. That's not the kind of. I might drink that if I was drunk or something. That's not the type of beer
Mm-mm.
that I'd want.
Only-
That's at the, that's
only
at
if
the
you're
end of the night.
trash.
You start making bad decisions
I'll
about
drink
food,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should probably get off soon, but you said the Prince of Persia, Mitch. I think when you say Metroidvania, I'm basically going to play almost all of
Dude.
those.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it says it was inspired by Metroid Dread.
Which is cool. I hope they change some of the if there's some, remember in Prince of Persia the second one, Warrior Within with the Godsmack soundtrack, there was that like
Oh yeah,
you break the rules of time, so there's that demon that follows you in those chase
Dahaka.
sequences. Maybe there's some of that
Yeah,
in there with Dread or whatever. Aesthetically, I do not like the look of it.
it
I think
looks Fortnitey.
I like
Yeah.
the cartoony aspect of it though.
I'm fine with cartoons, but yeah, I agree with Mitch where it's like there's just the angles and the
too
face.
plastic.
Yeah.
I
I'll still
just
play
for
it,
some
though.
reason it
Mechanically
reminded
sound.
me of Fortnite, and literally all my colleagues were just like, "You literally could take that model and put it in Fortnite, and you think it would be the same game."
There you go.
I mean,
he's gonna
maybe
drop
that's part of the plan.
Well, I mean,
energy.
while we're
License that
talking
shit
about
out.
it, why don't I just pull the B-roll for it? Because that was the first title we were going to talk about anyway. And then, Evan, you can just hop off whenever you want because we're just going to go game by game, going through all this, and then we'll give our final thoughts on it. But first off was Prince of Persia Return. This one is The Last Crown.
Right?
The Lost Crown.
Wait, can I say two things and just drop off?
Go for
Apologies
it.
for cutting in.
Yeah.
I can't leave this without trashing Sonic. Sonic's always been bad, and this just goes to show that they have no new ideas, and all they're doing is ripping off ideas from other games. And it's just they're making another one, and it looks exactly the same as the other. It's a 6 out of 10 max. And
You
then,
know what they need to do?
What's that?
They need to do Sonic Spinball 2 is what they need to do.
I was gonna say the exception to the rule is probably Sonic Spinball. Maybe up the frame rate to 16 frames per second, make it a bit smoother, right? Doesn't look like much of a postcard. But Lies of P, I played the demo. I'm not a Souls guy. I've only ever played and finished Bloodborne, but it seems cool, dude. It looks really good. Have either of you played it?
It's on my list to play.
I thought about downloading the demo, but I don't know.
I thought it was going to look like a Spiders game or something. Sorry, but it looks really, really nice. It's like smooth 60 FPS. The lighting is really, really cool. I don't know about the combat, and I wouldn't take my opinion about the combat. It's not helpful because I'm not good at this stuff, but I don't know. It could turn out to be good. All right, sorry for breaking this up. This is the second time in the last year that I've cut in not knowing that we were recording. I apologize.
All good.
Look forward to the rest of the episode. Sorry about it.
You're welcome anytime. This was good. I was like, this is an Evan game. We need Evan's thoughts on this, like a dragon shit.
Yep.
So
it looks cool. All right. Wait,
all
right. How many minutes are you into this?
Oh, we literally just started. It was like only 10 minutes in.
Oh, 10 minutes?
So
Okay.
yeah.
Fuck Sonic. All right, see you guys.
Well, let's talk about the first title, which was the Prince of Persia game.
Persia, the Lost Crown. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is done by Ubisoft Montefiore. This is known for the Rayman games specifically, and
yeah.
And then like we said that we're gonna see more of this on Ubisoft's Forward on Monday.
Oh, interesting. All right, so they're gonna go into the exact gameplay mechanics.
Probably, maybe. I mean, because it's
so
coming out in January. It looks like they're ready to blow this thing out all the way. So like.
So all right, that was the biggest surprise for me, and the thing that I was most excited about was the fact that it was 2D, or it was side scroller at least.
Well, it's 2.5D is what they're calling it.
Yeah. So side scroller, right?
Yep.
And because I just assumed that, there's been rumors for years now that they're going to do a Prince of Persia reboot and all that, and I just assumed that the path that they would take would be to just reskin whatever Assassin's Creed they're working on into a Prince of Persia, and bam, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is something totally different, and I'm really excited to see more of this for sure. And depending on circumstances, I might play it.
I mean, the combat is so flashy and it seems very fast and intuitive looks like there's multiple tools to play with. You got your swords, you got the bow, you got some time elements you can play with a little bit. Like, I think there's really just a lot to work with. And and yeah, I mean, it's coming out literally January 18th. It's coming out for all the consoles. So, I mean, I'm just excited to give it a shot. My only thought is just play length. Wonder how long this game is. I'd love for this to be like 10 hours max.
Yeah, I don't want it to be too long.
I don't want,
for sure.
and I don't think it will be, but yeah, this was just, I mean, to be honest, what a way to kick off the show. Kick off a game that no one's expecting, an utter surprise, and like something that looks like what we think it is, and then we're not sure until we get to the very end of the trailer, and then you're like, oh my god, it is Prince of Persia. It's just
so our mutual friend, he said on Twitter that he's like, yeah, sure. After I leave, like they finally have a game that doesn't leak.
Yeah, seriously.
He's like, congrats to the first non-leaking game.
Totally, 100%. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, just what a great title. What a great choice to like get this one in the ring to like start out the show with. Like Geoff Keighley, hats off to you for a true banger. And this is like, doesn't even have to be a AAA game, and it shows like what a non AAA game can still be a banger for you if it's really got the momentum. And this one's definitely got it. But then we headed to another banger. I'm surprised he did these both in a row and didn't like hold, especially because the show had a little bit of a lull in the middle of it that I wish he maybe saved Mortal Kombat, which we'll talk about right now. Wish he saved Mortal Kombat for, later in the show.
It could have gotten stuck in the middle. I think
or maybe he didn't think Prince of Persia was just gonna bang like it did, and was hoping this would make up for it if it wasn't there.
No, I feel like like Evan was saying, like he's not a fighting game guy. I feel like you have to be a certain type of gamer to be into these games, and like it is exciting if you are into those games, but so maybe Keighley was like, "Oh, we'll just front load it with this,"
I guess. But I would argue, and like I know Evan's not a fighting game guy, but to be honest, like if you have ever tried to play these games, especially the Mortal Kombat games, they are amazing. Like and like you're not playing it for just the fighting game itself alone. The story is so good. It reminds you of a really good popcorn Marvel movie, but like in a good way, like the good ones.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, was it Mortal Kombat 9 was the first one that had that full campaign to it?
Yeah. Where they finally like undid some stuff through time. Yeah, it was 9.
Well, not just that, but like actual, like it was one of the first fighting games you felt like you could sit down as a solo player.
Yeah.
And play, and you get a full $60 experience out of that
100%.
campaign. Right? Like everything after that, if you wanted to play online and get your ass beat, then you could, but it wasn't why you bought the game, right?
Yeah.
So
whereas now
that's notable.
Now in my brain is like I buy this for the campaign now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like if Call of Duty made a good campaign. Like people would be like, "Oh my god, I'll buy that game for just the campaign," and then the multiplayer is just a bonus for the people that care about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Like shows how much you could invest in games and like literally get a good title out. But yeah, the big thing with this one is if you've not played the other ones, you can jump in this one from the beginning. It's fine. Basically like the plot from the last 3 where they did some time hopping to undo the stuff from the previous titles, which was super interesting way of like trying to, keep the old stuff without keeping of where they were because it was all confusing and convoluted. But then in this one, Liu Kang is now Raiden basically. If understanding, so, he's the fire god, and
he's the fire god. Yeah.
And what he did was he changed the world. He completely changed it and made his own world. And now all these characters that we've known and loved in Mortal Kombat, even from like the films, they are different now. They will have different motivations, different storylines. Like Sub-Zero and Scorpion used to be mortal enemies from rivaling clans, and now they're actual brothers. And then Liu Kang is a fire god and is taking over the Raiden role. So you have a young Raiden. Melina is like sick with an illness, which is a new approach to how she is looking.
Why she is the way she is.
Yeah. So like it's just it's a fun way to like play with the characters and like see them in a whole new light.
Fucking Johnny Cage. They got Jean-Claude Van Damme to be
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Cage in this
totally.
game.
Yeah, and that was like they always wanted
Uh,
him to play him, and they never got the opportunity to, and now they do.
I was I was actually I was really excited when he said that. I was like, no way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just thinking back to the original game. And I was like, the original game, I remember that came out, and you had to do the blood code on Genesis or whatever, or on Super Nintendo. Um, yeah, I'm thinking like that character totally is Jean-Claude Van Damme. It was the early 90s.
Oh no, totally. And like I think, and then they introduced, oh shoot, what did they call it? Um, I forgot what the mechanic is called, but basically, you can summon another
Oh,
fighter. What?
what the hell is it? It's kind of like the tag team from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's very
Yeah,
similar to that.
but
Yeah,
basically, you can summon them to do an attack, and like based off of your position on the stick, it's similar to like controlling a whole new fighter for a second. So like they could do
yeah,
a completely different move if you're pushing back on the stick or forward on the stick, and they can do combos with you together, or they can like help you get out of trouble, or they can even looks like they can like do combo fatalities with each other and cameos. That's what it was called. Um,
cameo fighters. Yeah,
so I think that's a really awesome thing. The cool thing is if you look at it, they also like if you look at the cameo characters, they're the original character designs from the original game.
right. Yeah,
So that's even super cool. It's like you have Scorpion, which is kind of cool. Um,
yeah.
we probably won't get there in the B-roll, but I love this with the Johnny Cage in his house. And the one part I absolutely loved, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did it, was they did the Johnny Cage Mortal Kombat original movie nut shot, which is he does the
Right.
splits and punches him
Splits
in
and
the
yeah,
nuts,
punches.
and when
Yeah.
he punched Goro in the nuts. And they totally do it in this in the game, and I was like, oh my God, they did the nut shot. It's right here. It's like bam. It's just like, but yeah, it's just I think it's like so good, it's so perfect. This is Mortal Kombat is probably the more famous than it's ever been before, and I think it's because
Yeah.
they spent so much quality on this campaign, and it's just really showing in the title. And it's just like this looks
Well,
good. It looks so good.
it's inter- it's interesting. We could probably talk about this for fucking an
Yeah, we can
hour.
talk for
But
days.
what's interesting is like I remember the original movie, even the second movie, Annihilation. Even though it's bad, like it does have some cool story to
It's
it.
good, bad.
The animated series that was on USA Network back in the day, I remember watching that, and that has like its own story to it and stuff like. Mortal Kombat's always been one of those that has always had the there's the stuff in the game that like what about the pit underneath the bridge and what's the story behind that and so for them to just do the full campaign mode is such a great way to go about it for
Yeah, it's
sure.
always had an interesting world, and the campaign has really helped it to flesh it out a little more, to like
Yeah,
give more plot to like why things are the way they are, and I think
right.
that's really great. Like they nailed the formula for this thing, and it's just like the game even looks even better, and it's like wow,
Yeah.
it's like I would love to watch pros battle it out. Like I'm really thoroughly excited because it's just like it looks much faster too. Like it looks much more faster, fiercer than it was even in its previous titles. So
Yeah. The for anybody who's watching this live, the Mortal Kombat 11 plus the Injustice characters is on sale on Xbox right now for $10. So you get like all of the fucking DLC.
yeah, you should. I mean, if you've not played any of the latest ones,
Yeah, it's a $10 investment. $10 investment, and
so worth
maybe
your
you're
time.
not. Yeah, maybe you're not hyped on this right now, but for $10, you might be hyped on this after that.
I mean, heck, if you like watching like stories explained and stuff like that, literally just go watch someone explain the story of Mortal Kombat 9 through 11, because you'll just be like, this is awesome. This is like a
Yeah.
really good quality superhero stuff, but like bloody and more. It's just it's all great. It's all great. All right.
Did you pull the Path of Exile 2 trailer or no? Is that one we're skipping?
Now I completely forgot, so I'll tell you in a second. No, I did not grab the Path of Exile 2. We are
I don't think
skipping.
it's really I don't think it's really that important. I do think it's important to mention that Path of Exile is sort of forged their own path, and they are you know, popular in their own right. So people are excited for this. Um,
Oh
but
yeah, for sure.
Street Fighter 6, did you do the Exo Primal trailer
No,
for
no,
that?
no. That was just weird. That was just weird. No.
I don't know why they threw that in there, but okay.
They just
And
wanted
then
Nick Cage to react to it.
yeah. I do know that you pulled the Witchfire trailer though, because I'm excited for this.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Witchfire.
Yeah. What were your initial thoughts on this game, or this trailer?
You're not gonna like this. I'm meh on this game. I'm very meh.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, boomer shooter, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
that's basically what I got. I was like, oh, just another
that was
shooter.
your all right, so let me ask you this. Did you ever play Hexen
No, I
back in
played
the
none
day?
of their titles.
Okay. All right. So for anybody who doesn't know, there was a game called Heretic, which was basically a Doom clone that did all fantasy weapons. And then they came out with Hexen, which was like a follow-up to Heretic, and then Hexen 2. Um, those games were kind of what this reminds me of, and that's what makes me excited about it. Is like I like the weapon design. I like the way the world looks. Um, I like that they're in this trailer just showing me straight combat. Like I don't have to think about anything. It's just going to be get in there, play with cool looking weapons in a cool looking world, and it's kind of flashy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm down for that.
I mean, it reminds me for you of like if Skyrim had guns.
Well, yeah, but there's no. It doesn't seem like there's any type of lore or anything that's gonna like, something that you have to, because that stuff does take like, some mental energy or emotional energy. And sometimes I don't want that in the game. I don't want to have to invest any emotional energy. I just want to be jump in and blow some shit up and have it look cool. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's probably what this is. You just jump in, it looks cool. It's kind of fast paced. You get to use cool weapons, and that's it. That's what I'm getting out of the trailer. I don't know if that's what the game's gonna be.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It's like if Van Helsing had magic.
Okay.
It's got the look.
Yeah.
The weapon types is like it's like based off that type of time era mixed in with magic. That's what I got a vibe of.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, call me out in the comments. But I'm gonna say you're wrong. And we're gonna move on to something a little more happier. Sunshine, rainbows. Sonic is getting an update. An update of
Yeah.
a brand new 2D side scroller, or kind of 2D 3D. It's a mixture depending on what levels you're in, because technically,
Right.
the originals were just like this too, but this is co-op up to
Right.
3 players, or is it 4 players? I think it was 4 players.
Th-
I think
yeah,
it's four
there are
players.
four.
Um, are you? Is the 2D ish like the old school type Sonic games? Are they just not feasible anymore? Like, should they not make these anymore, or is this well worth it?
So, all right. My initial thought was, what are they doing? They should do Mania 2. But when they threw in the stuff that's like not, where it's kind of 3D and it's not the 2D stuff, and I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Generations.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think Sonic Generations is probably my favorite Sonic game in the last 20 years, next to Mania.
Okay.
So I'm not mad about the direction that this is going, and this kind of reminds me of Generations. And if they do the same thing as Generations, maybe not necessarily with the story, but with the mechanics, um, I'm down. I'm gonna play this.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. I really like the original Sonics. And This one kind of has a mixture of some mechanics that I kind of like with, like the mixture of the wall running with like changing the verticality of Sonic rather than just thinking of more side to side. They got some really cool 3D in there that I think works. I think what also brought the original Sonic such charm is finding interesting ways of using Sonic in a practical way. So like an example, like one of my favorite levels from original Sonic 2 was like the world that was basically just a giant pinball machine. And trying to like navigate in the world. And here they kind of have that in this puzzle where you're like you're bouncing on these things to get rid of it, to like travel through it. And it's like it seems like they have interesting ways of traversing through, which for me speaks old Sonic in a good way. So this leaves me slightly interested.
Yeah.
Like and cool, you can play with your friends. I wonder if it's online co-op though, or if it's just only like,
I'm sure it's online for sure. I don't think it's going to be.
I mean, this would be a great game to play online co-op together. Like, to be honest.
Yeah, it should have local for sure, and online. I think they're definitely going to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm down for this. I'd love to like play this with the guys and just all of us get together and just like play this together. I think it would be really fun. But
I know Dan's always down. Dan's always down for a good multiplayer game.
Dan is just the multiplayer man. This is the one I'm talking about right here, where you just like it's like up and down the things moving around, and you're in the ball form, and you're just hopping around. That just reminds me of like a mixture of like trying new things with Sonic. I'm all down for that. So I think even though Evan said fuck Sonic, I think we say thank you Sonic, because this seems to be one that I'm interested on. This dog thing that's not Eggman.
Dog thing that's not Eggman.
At the end of the trailer, there's the dog riding Eggman's machines. I wonder if the dog is the new villain.
I never followed any of the lore. I remember the
I don't know
the chili dogs, and that was about it.
I don't know. It was just weird. There's just weird dog watching, but yeah. Well, let's get to the next one. We're not going to be able to cover every title, but we're going to cover the ones we think we want to cover, basically. And the next one is Lies of P.
Okay, so you're skipping over Honkai's Star Rail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So all right, Lies of P.
Let's
go on to that.
Yeah, that one. I was telling this to my friends, my colleagues. This title, for a B tier title, looks way above its like weight class. You know what I mean? Like, like for a B tier title, for like a AA type title, it's looking like it's punching up to a AAA title, which I'm thoroughly impressed. Like, the mechanics look really solid so far. It looks gorgeous. The game is gorgeous. The art style and direction is great.
Right.
I think this is the Spiders games everybody wanted that they never got. I'm thoroughly excited to try the demo, to be honest.
Yeah, I might download the demo. I think that's as far as I'm going to go, though. I don't know if this is a game I'm going to buy. Mainly because I know that I'm just not any good at the Souls-like stuff. So, I mean, I feel like they're going for the hardcore audience.
Well, it is on Game Pass.
Well, if it's on Game Pass,
this is a day one Game Pass game.
Okay.
So this one will get my Game Pass subscription just to play for a month and then not subscribe to Game Pass anymore.
Okay. All
right. So like, and it comes out. Well, actually, when Starfield comes out September, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Well,
hopefully that's still the case tomorrow afternoon.
Well, because Lies of P comes out September 19th, so this one's going to be fighting over some space with Starfield. So
that's all right. I feel like they're aiming for two different audiences.
True.
Obviously, we have our little bet going, and I have put at least 20 hours into Final Fantasy VII Remake. So
we'll see. We'll see. Well, we'll see. Well, I'm waiting for full confirmation, and then we can start doing an episode of me picking my character when the game launches, and then you will watch a stream of me playing.
Yeah.
For 20 hours. Oh my god. Let's hope
At
that
least
showcase shows off some good material. Hopefully the game is good.
at least 20 hours. I can still play some more.
Oh my god. All right, then let's move on to something a little more interesting. This was a genuine surprise from people, including
This was
myself. Bananas. Bananas. Sandland. Um, and this one is from Akira Toriyama,
Toriyama.
who has been
Yeah,
known for the Dragon Ball series, creator
Right.
of Dragon Ball, which the influence of Dragon Ball I can see.
Oh, it's his
100%.
style. Like,
The
yeah,
mechs,
everything.
the mechs literally look like Dragon Ball to me. It reminded me so much of Dragon Ball. All the mechs.
Yeah. So Akira Toriyama's done a few different popular mangas. I guess most notably he did Dr. Slump before Dragon Ball, and then did Dragon Ball, and then I can't remember what he did right after Dragon Ball. And then this I think has only come around in the last 10 or 20 years, something like that. But this looks really interesting. I initially called it, like when they first showed the clip, I was like, "Oh, Dragon Quest," and then it just like kept going, and I was like, "Oh no, this is not a Dragon Quest. Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the manga at all, so
Is it based off the manga?
yeah, it's based on the
Oh,
manga,
I thought this
which
was I thought this was an original IP from him that he like created for the game
no,
for game only. Not it was based off a manga.
yeah. So it looks like it only went for a few months. 2000 May 2000 to August 2000 was
Huh.
the manga.
Okay.
And then they just did an anime film that was released or will be releasing this year.
Okay. Interesting.
Um, yeah.
Well,
So I'm not familiar with Sandland, but the game looks really cool. I
it
don't know exactly what it is that you're going to be doing. I'm assuming it's like just an
that's what
action
I'm trying to
adventure.
figure out. Like what is the game? What is the game? Is it just you get different kinds of mechs and you're basically riding around and using them in different ways to be able to conquer enemies, but it looks like he also can do combat and stealth and traversal and it looks is it open world? It looks I think it is
Well,
open world, but it
I was
also
going to
looks
say
very story driven.
I get kind of like Jack and Daxter vibes, like that kind of that. I don't know if that's what the gameplay is going to be, but that's kind of what I feel like it might be.
It's just
You
like a
know?
mixture, a hodgepodge of a lot of different mechanics,
Yeah,
platforming mixed
something.
in with
Yeah,
some
it's
like weapons and tools and
right.
mechs
Exactly.
and
Yeah, it's
robots and stuff.
right. You might have some puzzles. There might be some platforming. There might be some combat. Yeah. They
Yeah,
haven't shown us enough so that we know what the core game loop is going to be, but that's kind of the vibe I get.
yeah, it definitely to me feel looks open world for how much like he's just driving around with these mech machines without even like doing any kind of combat, but then like choosing to engage with these creatures or other mechs around in the areas. But yeah, it looks fascinating. I'm definitely was not expecting it at one, and then two was like, oh wow, this looks good too. Like it
Yeah,
looks like a good quality title. Usually when we get like the anime games, sometimes the quality falls a little bit short of like what people were thinking. You know what I mean?
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And this looks like it's getting the total touch up full quality from Bandai Namco. So good for them. We
Yeah.
also got another shock. Amazon starting to step into the ring, my friend, with Throne
With
and
more with more MMOs.
yes, more MMOs.
So they
Throne
had
Liberty.
yeah, Throne of Liberty. So they all right, so Amazon has Lost Ark, New World, this one, and I think there's another one that they are working on or have released.
Oh, by the way, for our audio listeners, we are playing the B-roll with the videos of these announcements with the trailers. So if we're referencing stuff, that's what we're referencing. We're actually showing it in real time. So we highly recommend you watch the video version on YouTube or
Yeah.
on twitch.tv/pixelpints.
Yeah, just so you can follow along with the trailers. But yeah, no, I'm kind of excited to see what this is going to be. It looks really good to me. NCSoft is probably most known for, at least for me, most known for WildStar, which was an MMO that was released 8 or 10 years ago, something like that, 2013 to 2017. Um, and I'm really curious because WildStar did a lot of things that were interesting for the MMO genre. There was like more platforming and verticality and stuff like that. And, the character that you chose was not locked into a certain class or a certain role. Um, any race that you chose could do any type of could fill any type of role. So if it's the same type of thing, but it's just a more classic fantasy environment, or more classic fantasy skin, I'm really curious to see what this is going to be like.
I do have a question for you, Berghoff.
Sure.
As the MMO type of man you are, World of Warcraft is still going strong. I mean, they literally brought out a new expansion, I think like literally 6 months ago or something like that.
Sure.
But well, let's just say World of Warcraft still hasn't aged well. And with all these MMOs coming out, we got Final Fantasy 14, that
Still going
still
strong.
going
Yeah.
strong, and that had a lot of stuff. There's Elder Scrolls.
Elder
There's
Scrolls
this.
Online, which I've dumped a lot of hours into.
There's this one coming out with better quality in regards to like, a more realization of what MMOs almost promised, which was like a full-on experience with intuitive combat, with multiple players doing all that kind of stuff and having that realization coming to life. Do you think World of Warcraft needs a kind of reboot, or does Blizzard need to maybe just come up with a new MMO to kind of upgrade to bring it into the 21st century of where all these MMOs are coming in?
So I feel like, all right, so WoW is an interesting use case because I feel like WoW just needs to continue to exist. Um, and it's not like there can be a WoW 2. But if Blizzard were inclined to do another MMO, um, yeah, they should, I guess. I mean, at least they have the pedigree for it. But you can't just get rid of WoW because there's just too many people that are.
I mean,
Uh,
could you do like there's a giant final event for WoW that completely rewrites the timeline for World of Warcraft and like starts a whole new world, which is their next title?
I don't know. It's an interesting question for games as a service. Do you continue with the same product and just expect that your player base is going to spend the money to upgrade their PCs to play along with you?
I mean, we kind of had
I
that
think
answered
that's,
a little bit with was it Overwatch 2?
yeah, but Overwatch 2 is basically the same game. Like they didn't really do a whole lot different.
It's fair.
You know, it it, it wasn't big enough. Like if they did a huge overhaul to WoW and like, all right, it's still the same game, but all the graphics are updated, and now you need
New
a,
animations and like new
yeah, now
mechanics
you need now you
introduced.
need an RTX card to fucking play this. I don't know. I'm not sure how well that would go over, honestly.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to move on because I have nothing to say about this title. I'm not an MMO person, and I probably will not be an MMO person for quite a while. But let's talk about Alan Wake. That is not an MMO,
Right.
but Alan Wake 2 was shown off on the PlayStation Showcase originally with a trailer, but then we got some in-game footage of
Right.
the gameplay being played, and it's basically the same sequence that you see in the trailer. So there's nothing like totally new you see, but you just get to see it get played a little bit, which is kind of nice. You get to play as two different people in this title. The main character is an FBI agent,
Yep.
and she is investigating a murder that ends up finding that this murder was written in a story written by Alan Wake. And then Alan Wake is stuck in a different alternate dimension. I forgot what they call it, but he was stuck in an alternate dimension, and his story is to get out of that dimension. And the interesting thing that was said about this was that so both characters can be played, and that they basically you can play each of the different characters at any time you want. What their chapters, so you can like choose, oh, I want to do like all of them as the FBI agent and then play as Alan Wake, or I want to play, except for a few exceptions, but for the most part you choose when you play as each of the characters.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
So I've never played Alan Wake, so I'm not I have no attachment to the brand or the franchise or anything. My initial vibes, it kind of reminds me like a Resident Evil type game.
Yeah.
And then being able to play the two different characters, like heavy Resident Evil 2 vibes. The different discs. One disc is one character, one disc is the other. So I don't know. I mean, my thought is that it is kind of that. It is like the more survival horror and not so much the action.
It looks really good. It just looks
It
really
looks
good.
really good. I'm not really interested in it. But it seems like it's definitely your type of game.
Well, they made it very clear this is a survival horror title. And
those are vibes that I got. When the very first scene where she's in the forest, I was like, "Oh, this is the Resident Evil 4 demo I just played." This is starts off exactly the fucking same.
Except it's not breaking on your Steam Deck.
Right.
But it is not Steam Deck verified. Yeah, it is really interesting. I am very captivated by this. Hopefully, I really would hope that the story at least kind of nudges me in a direction to say, like, this is when you should play as Alan Wake, or this is when you should play as the girl. Because I do want to try, like, he said there's no wrong way to play it, but, like, I really do want to make sure I have, like, the best experience possible. And so if there is a way for them to nudge me in the right direction, I would very much appreciate it. But let's talk about, like, the most interesting thing about this title. It is not coming out on disc.
Yeah, the first ever digital only AAA title, I guess.
And to quote them, this title will be $10 cheaper because of it. This is the McWomble dream. The McWomble dream is happening, just in the wrong generation. He said he said it would.
But it's $60, right? Instead of $50.
Well, no, it's 60 instead of 70.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like,
the McWomble dream was always games would be 50 instead of 60 because it was digital only. It was a digital version.
Exactly.
Whereas this one is we're only doing digital, and because of that, we can charge you $10 less. So this title is $60, which also makes me go, wow, I will definitely buy this title now.
So this is interesting, and I guess spoiler alert if you haven't watched Summer Game Fest already, but the end of the show was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the big thing was it's on 2 discs. I feel like this game is probably the same size and would have been on 2 discs, and I think that when they came to whoever the higher ups were that got to the when they saw that come across their desk and like, this game's gonna be at least 2 discs if we fucking publish it, they're like, nah, fuck it, whatever.
Well, like, technically if you want to get technical here, if a game is going to be over 100 gigs before you update with a patch, you need 2 discs, because you need 1 disc for the install, because 1 Blu-ray disc is 100 gigs, and then you need 1 disc to actually like play the game. So I don't see this title being over 100 gigs. So I would not see this.
I don't know though.
I don't think
it looks good graphically.
From my experience, this game is not 2 disc worthy. I promise you. Trust me.
Okay.
It's not 2 disc.
So,
as one who's
so
it's not 2 discs.
Like they just made that decision anyway.
I think Final Fantasy is 2 discs because of how much content is in that title, whereas this one is a linear survival horror title. When you have those things together, it gives you a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Let's just say there's a little more leeway on memory
All right,
and
that's
and
fair.
and and those
I
kinds
was
of
going.
elements are a little more controlled
Yeah,
in regards
I
to
was going back
data
to the. I was
compared
going
to an
back to
open
the.
world game.
I was going back to the PlayStation days for sure.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, I was like, oh, this is like this is bringing back memories for sure.
I mean, technically, if I think Horizon Forbidden West, if you got it on PS4, was 2 discs.
Oh,
Because
but that would be plus the Frozen Wilds, though, right?
nope, that was the 1 disc for install, 1 disc to play.
All right. Okay.
So like some of these are over 100 gigs, some of them will. I'm curious that of how many titles in the future will start coming on 2 discs. I just don't see this as a 2 disc title, but
Right.
even if so, printing a second disc is not expensive. It's really
Right.
not that
Okay.
expensive. Blu-rays are cheap nowadays, so.
All right.
But yeah,
But yeah, the digital only. I think it's gonna nudge the industry in a certain direction that it's already been going in, and it's just gonna prove that. Yeah, physical is probably not necessary. I think physical is it's gonna go the Evercade route. So people that are interested in collecting games will seek them out, and they'll do it like with Evercade or Limited Run or people like that.
I disagree with you slightly. I will say like this may nudge some more titles to be discless.
Okay.
But I don't think major titles will be discless because of the fact hard drive space on these titles. And hard drive space is not easy to come by.
Yeah, but you still have to install the game though, even if you have the disc.
That's true, but I just don't see. I see as people
It's
thinking.
faster to install it off of a disc than it is to download it. I get that.
Yeah, I think
for sure.
I think there's just more elements in play when it comes to that. When you're like, oh, I don't have enough room on this, and I now have to download the title again, and then I have to reinstall it. Whereas like all you have to do is install it if you put the disc in. So
Right.
I think there is
Yeah.
elements of convenience, whereas like, and I think there are still plenty of collectors out there that would rather buy a physical version because again, you can still
Yeah.
turn it into GameStop and you can still turn it into the mom and pop shops. I mean, that business is still booming. Not booming like it's crazy, but like it is still a business that exists. That I just see if they go this route and they keep making the games cheaper, maybe I see a transition. But I just don't see it. They're charging $70 now. They're not going to go back and say, "Oh, we're going to do it digital only, but charge 60."
So
I don't see that happening anymore. I just see this is because
digital's-
it's Remedy, and Remedy can do whatever the hell they want. They are their own entity.
I don't know. So digital is cheaper for the consumer too, overall.
Right, but they won't charge it because they don't care. They can charge $70 on a game. Like especially the major partners. This is Remedy's first title.
Yeah,
With
I'm not arguing that. No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that like in general, digital is always going to be cheaper for the consumer, right? So today I can download my old Final Fantasy games. I can get them on Steam for cheaper than what it would cost me to buy the physical one on Switch or whatever.
I mean, not necessarily. Sometimes. Like I can go to a Walmart and like pick through the bargain bin of movies worth $20 that I could find online for maybe sometimes $25 instead. It just depends. I think
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much effort you're willing to put into it too.
It's
Yeah.
convenience.
Yeah, I'm more likely to look through digital sales than I am to dig through bargain bins.
And I don't disagree with you. I am all there with you. So, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. I wonder if I don't see the major publishers going in this direction of charging less for an only digital game compared to doing.
Well, the other
But we'll
thing
have
too
to see
is
how
like
well it sells.
I was gonna say how many people own discless versions of the PS5 and opted to go for the Series S as opposed to the X. Right.
Well, I can tell you there's a reason. Pactor said it recently in a developer talk with, I mean,
Right.
in a video, that they were forced to put a disk drive on their consoles because consumers were still obsessed with discs.
Right. Right. So they were already ready to abandon it.
Yeah, they were ready to ditch it,
At
and
the
they
at the
couldn't,
corporate level.
ditch it. And I think if you look at, like, if you go to like PlayStation and if you go to like stores and things like that, I mean, you can find PS5s a little more normal now, but what were the first ones to always
Yeah.
sell out? It was always the disc
The
based.
disc ones. Yeah.
It's always the disc based ones. And I think also what comes in
Right.
handy is the disc ones is we always use them as our media players too, for our high definition Blu-rays that we can't stream in that high of quality when we buy a digital version. Like there isn't, like,
Sure,
my
man.
friends are big fans of buying like the ultra Blu-rays because it's the highest quality you can get, and even if you bought the digital version, you're not getting that high quality that you would if you used the disc. And
Right.
what player are you going to play it on? Like, you might as well play it on your console because your console has the disc drive, right? So I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't,
All right.
I think of how multi-use it is, I just don't see it going away. But like, again, if this sells like hotcakes at that price point with the $10 cheaper, I do see a market out there that I wonder if someone else is going to try to dip their toe and say, hey, $10 cheaper, but it's
Yeah.
going to be a digital only game, and see if that sells like hotcakes.
Yeah. I can see it happening for Sony and Microsoft faster than Nintendo. I think Nintendo is going to hold on to that physical market because it, in the back of their mind,
If not,
they're
they
always going to be a toy.
upcharge.
Yeah, no, yeah. In their minds, they're a toy company. They're not a video game company. So,
Totally. And and Microsoft
but
might go that route, but to be honest, they're not even a physical or even a digital space to sell titles. They're a servicer with Game
yeah,
Pass. So if any of the big three that would do it, maybe Sony would probably be the first one to maybe try it. But I have no idea.
okay,
But I couldn't. This is no insider, no nothing. This is just like, practically, if you think about it, who's going to be the one to do it?
right.
It's probably that one based off of. But I don't see it happening, to be honest. I really just see it happening with these third-party publishers.
I hope we keep physical. I mean, that's my preferred way to buy games. But
Totally.
yeah,
Same here. Also, because you get like
all
cool
right.
collector's editions, and like those are the cool stuff. I think those are more bigger than ever. But yeah, let's move on from this one. We're gonna skip a few titles, including Warhammer, the Space Marines 2, Yes, Your Grace, the John Carpenter's Toxic Commando new horror shooter. That one just
Right.
didn't really like pique our interest at all. But what we are gonna talk about,
Baldur's Gate 3,
yeah,
which this title's been in early access for I think over a year or two at this point. Like it's been in early access for a long ass time. Um, but this is the first I've seen of it having a deeper story. So they haven't really advertised the story that they've been working on this entire time. There was the little bit about how you encounter the mind flayers, and then you're slowly you're slowly being transformed into one over time, and that was like the most that they gave out of the story. But what was interesting about the original Baldur's Gate games was all of the political intrigue and all of the stuff that was going on with the towns and um, some of the political stuff. And this has that. This trailer has that stuff in it. So this reminds me of like the silver mines, the iron mine, or whatever it was that you had to investigate, and how having that resource controls what's going on and the power and that kind of stuff. And so I'm excited. I'm kind of waiting for this game to hit console is my big thing. I don't know how far away from a console release they are, and they've never committed to one. They've never committed to releasing it on console yet. But this gives me more story stuff, and I think it's cool. What are your
I
thoughts?
think this trailer is not very good. Uh, Only because they're like, I get the whole feeding the lore stuff, and I was kind of following it a little bit. Been playing some D&D in my spare time with some friends, and so I kind of like now understanding a little bit of the lore. And I watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and I got some of the references because I was like, oh my god, it's like it's the same thing I play.
Right.
But anyway, this trailer was all feeding off of like a specific character, and it was treating it as if everyone knew who the hell this person is. One, that voice actor, don't know who the voice actor is, one. And then two,
Jason Isaacs,
the actual like character themselves, I don't know who the hell this is. And the reference, like I don't understand the meaning of it. I feel like what the issue is, Baldur's Gate is feeding into a small audience that knows what they already knows the lore so well that this is for them. But what I think they need to do is they need to find ways to loop people in so that they feel like they can hop in and play this title, because I feel like I can't hop in and play this title. And then especially this end, the very end of the trailer, when the guy is just like sitting there saying his mischievous thing, and then this other camera shot hits this guy, and it looks like we're supposed to know who the hell this man is. And I just don't know, right?
Right. Okay.
So I think that's the problem with this trailer. I think this was very much a trailer for the fans who are already going to buy this game, rather than
who have already bought it,
or whoever bought it.
Yeah.
But it's not for the person that, like me, who would be like, "What is this title? What is the lore? Help me understand this a little bit," because I just don't know anything.
I think that's a valid criticism, and I think that that's probably intentional. I think that their goal is to get as many people hooked and deep into it and excited as possible, and let them talk to their friends and convince other people to play it.
Not when you're on Summer Game Fest. Come on, man.
Well, I get that, but have they already made their money back? And maybe early access has been pretty profitable for them. Like Star Citizen.
That's an even better time to do it then, right? Because like if you already made all your money back based off your core audience, let's expand the audience, right? I feel like there's no excuse here for them to do this.
Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm excited for it. Like I don't need to know who the individual characters are to know that whatever it is that we experience in this game has that it does have that tinge of political machinations and stuff. And like, all right, I'll figure it out when I play it. But I am waiting for that console release. That's what I'm waiting for. I want that experience. I don't want a PC experience with this. I don't want to have to try and tweak the settings, and because that's what happens with some of these games is I get so involved in like the sliders that I just kind of ignore the game and I don't ever get into it. But on a console experience, I install it, I play it, and that's it.
Yeah, totally. Well, moving on in this one, we're going to talk about the one that probably surprised us the most, not by like knowing what the title was, but what the F is going on with this title. This is called Pal World. Now, if you think it was Pokemon, I wouldn't be shocked by you at all, because some of these are a shade color from looking exactly like a Pokemon, but yet look, they have a machine gun, and look, you have a rocket launcher, and it is bonkers. What were you thinking when you saw this trailer?
Well, I mean, I told you before the show started, I was like, I'm not high enough to deal with this right now. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like it almost looks like Monster Hunter with guns, but Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly what it is that you're doing here. I don't. Yeah, this is just a weird game. Because all right, if you're shooting, okay, I get that, but you've got your like monster partners, but you're not having them fight for you. I don't know.
No, they're fighting for you with a machine gun, Burkoff. No, one of them has a Gatling gun, Burkoff.
Right. Okay.
My question for you is, I think we can agree that these are like so close to looking like an actual Pokemon, which is trademarked.
Right.
Do you think there's a lawsuit coming their way?
I don't know if Pokemon Company or Nintendo's gonna go after him. I don't think it's that similar.
Because like to
Um,
be honest, if mom like here's my thought was like, I could easily imagine a kid going look tells his mom, "Mommy, look, Pokemon now have guns. Can I get this game?" And then mom just goes, "I'm never buying a Pokemon game for you ever again." And then learn like not knowing that this isn't Pokemon,
I don't know.
right? Like because Pokemon has always been kid friendly. Um, but
I feel
hey,
like
I've always talked
I
about
feel like a,
Pokemon being adults. I just didn't mean it this way.
I feel like enough moms maybe have grown up with Pokemon at this point that they know the difference. I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's not true.
That's
As one that worked with multiple people that had families and kids and stuff, they still know
right.
nothing about video games.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I guess we'll see what happens when this thing releases, like what kind of coverage it gets.
Well, look for it.
It's
Look,
kind of it's kind of amazing that it got on Summer Game Fest, to be honest. Like,
true.
yeah,
And also look for it January 2024 for early access.
yeah.
So
So it'll be out soon.
maybe we'll play it together. I choose you, Pikachu, with a rocket launcher.
Right.
Let's see. What's the next one we got on our? What got on our?
Did you download the Black Desert trailer?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the title of it.
It was like it's like Black Desert Online, but it's like the world of Land of the Morning Light is what it's called. It's
There,
for the expansion.
found it.
Yeah, Land of the Morning Light.
Which I gotta point out to you really quick.
Sure.
Quality of this trailer, give it a 1 out of 10. Only reason why, if you if you, if you watch the first segment where here I'll just I'm gonna literally do some
You're gonna loop back
I'm
to
gonna
it.
loop back. I'm gonna literally show you. It's right here. It's this sequence right here. There's a panning into the city right here. Assets are
Yeah,
loading. Assets are loading into the world. That
yeah.
kind of
That
stuff
popped.
should
There's
never
a character
happen in a
popped in.
trailer. You have people
Yeah.
checking the shit out of trailers to make sure this never happens. And oh
So
my lord.
I didn't notice it.
This is what
When it
happens when you're
happened.
working games. You see this stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
I didn't really notice it. And to be honest, like I felt like I was like, oh well, I know it's gonna be in-game stuff that they're showing because it's an MMO, it's an expansion for an MMO. Um, I'm really excited for is it Crimson Desert or Crimson something is the gonna be like the follow-up game to Black Desert, and it's supposed to be single player and all that.
Hmm.
But I have put maybe like 50 hours into Black Desert, and it's not a bad MMO. It's actually pretty good. Like the systems and stuff that they have in place. Um, I spent an entire day just getting lost in the world. So, um, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see like what this is when it drops, and I'll keep dipping my toes back into Black Desert until um, their follow-up single-player game comes out because that thing looks awesome.
All right. I have nothing to say about that except for the trailer part. Now
All right.
let's look at one that we saw last year. I think it was at the Game Awards. I think they showed it to us. Um, and it was done by Don't Nod.
Yeah, this is interesting.
And this is kind of their first shot at a legit action adventure third person game because they've been known for more of their story stuff.
Well, Vampire. I don't know if you played that.
Oh, that's true.
So, yeah, so this is what is the name of this? Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It's a
Yeah.
horrible name. A horrible name. But really interesting concept, right? Like this is their foray into more of a fantasy themed world. But
Yeah. Like it's
I feel
lover
like
his lover dies and but her ghost stays with him, or he finds a random ghost and it becomes his lover.
Yeah, so like this kind of feels uh like they're still playing with the story elements like you would get from what was it, Life is Strange? Did they do Life is Strange?
Yeah, they did a lot more like third person story, choose your own adventure
Yeah,
type
so,
stuff than actual
well,
action adventure games.
so this feels like it has some of those the story heavy stuff, but it has also like the combat of or combat that's more complicated like Vampire. So
Also choices, like the player was just making a choice there whether to steal their
yeah,
soul
you
or
make
not,
definitive choices in the narrative.
which it looks like the choices help. Like he's stealing souls to help bring her back to life, which it seems like. And like but he's also like solving crimes with spirits that she can help him with, and like you can switch between the two and see like the world through her time period. It's kind
Right.
of interesting. I just want to see like a chunk of like the chunk of the game being played. Like um give me like
Yeah,
5 minutes of like us playing the game together and like just seeing how a mission works and all that, because I'm just not sure of how all the combat, I'm not sure how that works either, because like this is our first
that's kind
real
of
shot at combat.
yeah. So that's kind of what we were talking about before the show is we don't really know exactly what this game is.
It is
And
interesting
that's
though.
but it looks interesting. Like it has the hallmarks of all of their other games with a new world, a new story, new characters.
Hmm.
So, yeah, they've always kind of been like the double A developer. I feel like this is their first dip into full triple A.
I still see this as double A though.
Do you? I feel
I
like
do.
this has like a triple A feel to me.
I just for some reason I still feel I still have that double A feel.
Okay.
I don't see this as their transition to triple A. I just see this as a transition for them to try a new genre, but still in the double A space.
Okay. All right. That's
Um,
fair. Yeah, no, I'm eager to see more. Like, some of the stuff that we're watching where it looks like there's different combos and things that you can either unlock or learn for the combat.
yeah,
And a lot has to do with the main character and his significant other, his lover, whoever this ghost is.
yeah, and it looks like he can touch her with like the
Yeah,
rings on his arms, his fingers or something, and he like can grab her and like hold her hand and stuff. And maybe he's
yeah.
only allowed to do that because of the mystics he has. It is interesting. I'm intrigued more and more as I see more of this title. And we don't have to wait long. It's coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
It launches by the end of this year. So
Yeah.
speaking of something that also launches this year, Yakuza went crazy.
Like a dragon. Well, the series is going to be like a dragon going forward,
Yep,
apparently. So they got that.
like a dragon, Gaiden, the man
The
who
man who erased
erased
his
his
name.
name, which is super crazy of a title, but also matches the super craziness of this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's way too long, but everybody who plays these games is like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it.
It looks gorgeous though. It looks
I,
so gorgeous.
yeah, I think they've done a good job. It looks like more of the same.
I think the combat
Um,
looks a little updated though.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean there is some updates to the combat.
It looks like he
I
has
haven't
like a
played.
dodge button now, and like it's less arcadey. It looks a little less
So
arcadey.
yeah, we should have asked uh, Evan while he was still on about Judgment and Lost Judgment.
Mm,
So those games were the follow-ups from six, right?
true.
Yakuza 6.
Yeah, that was the one
Um,
haven't tried yet, but I've been wanting to because I was excited about the new combat on that.
yeah, so Judgment came out and then Lost Judgment. So I'm assuming this game is going to use the same engine that Lost Judgment used.
Same combat
Um,
system. Yeah,
yeah, or if it's not exactly the same, it'll be tweaked a little bit, but it'll be from that.
to match Kiryu a little bit, or sorry, the No Man name, because
Yeah,
he's
it's curious.
erasing his. I'm assuming he's erasing the name of Kiryu Kazuka so he can still remain as the main hero, but no longer as the Kiryu Saga.
Yeah, I guess. And then at the end here, we see that Majima and a couple of the other characters are still in there. So, um, yeah, it's just more Yakuza. I'm excited. Like I took me so long to get into the series, but then I finally did find enjoyment with it. So,
It's
yeah,
crazy to see how this saga, as the series has blown up, that now, like, when we see this game, we're just like, oh my god, it's another Yakuza. And, like, I think people had never, this series used to never touch the States. And now it's just this big thing in the States.
the first one did, and the first one they got Mark Hamill and a bunch of other voice actors to be in it, and it just didn't do well.
Yeah.
Um, no,
And then all of a sudden, like, I think it was like five all of a sudden started hitting the States. And they're like, oh, it's a big series. Let's keep. Um,
it
let's
was definitely yeah, it was definitely it gained popularity during the PS3 generation. I feel like it started to build steam
For
for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Well, that is our thoughts on that one. We're gonna skip one of Evan's game, Under Waves. We're like, hell
Yeah,
no.
Under the Waves. Yeah, it might be good.
We're also gonna skip a couple other titles,
Yeah,
including Marvel Snap. I just gotta say, that whole thing with Marvel Snap was so confusing. You should put that spoof that you had at the beginning of his talk instead of at the end, because I felt like they were sharing a new feature and then nothing was shared because it was just a joke. So I was very confused. How not to present your game at the game at Keighley Summer Game Fest. And then we're skipping a bunch of other small titles, but we do have one for Burkoff, just for you, my friend.
the
We
Star Trek.
we know
Infinite?
you're a Trekkie.
Yeah, one of the Star Trek shirt.
Give
Yeah.
us your nerdiness.
So the trailer's only like 45 seconds. It
Come on,
doesn't really give us a
45 seconds
whole
of
lot.
greatness. What are you talking about? Come on now.
Well, all right. So it takes place in the proper timeline. That's number one. Um,
I didn't know Star Trek had a
it's
timeline.
it's got multiple timelines. But the timeline that like fans like me grew up with. So it takes place in that timeline. It is 4X. You have the Borg, the Romulans, the Klingons, the Cardassians, and the Federation. And it's being done by Paradox, which is known for Stellaris and a bunch of other 4X strategy games. So
You want Patrick Stewart to do your main role as a.
it's not. Well, I'm sure he did voice work for it for sure. Like he's done voice work for I think all the Star Trek stuff. But um, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what it is. Even if it's like a reskinned Stellaris and it's Stellaris with Star Trek shit. I'll probably play that. You know. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
You get nothing from me. I haven't watched a single episode of Star Trek. I've only seen the movies from J.J. Abrams. And I
They're
know.
not bad movies. I like the JJ verse, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
So
they're not bad. Um, but let's talk about one where it's like makes you go,
call
Immortals, Immortals of. Oh, jeez, I don't know how to pronounce it. I keep getting it wrong.
Avium,
Yeah, that's what it is. Avium.
Immortals of Avium.
So like they showed this off at the PlayStation Showcase, and then they showed another trailer today. I mean, at the Summer Game Fest with the actor coming out, being like, "Oh my god, this is so good! Like it's so amazing! Like such great story plot points." And I'm like, I don't see the good story here, but okay.
Dude, this shit has fucking ultra generic written all over it. Like I don't know how this is interesting.
Agreed.
This is like the most fucking milk toast fantasy bullshit I've ever seen. And I don't know how people are excited for this. I don't. I honestly don't. Like I get that it's Call of Duty with magic. Okay. It might be fun. But in terms of the story and like the characters and stuff, this is just not interesting at all.
What I will say is I appreciate the swing. I appreciate
It
them
looks-
I appreciate them taking a shot at this, because like I will take this over another regular generic shooter.
Right.
They just needed a better writer, And they like, because like some of these pieces look like really good set piece moments, or if it was a more interesting title, I would be excited to see. But at this moment, it just looks like your average generic shooter with magic, and I just am not interested. And I want to like this title because it's an interesting concept to do a shooter with first person magic controls. Because I think you could pull it off really well, especially if you're really good with shooters. And this is a team that could be really good with shooters. So I'm just like, I'm just utterly disappointed that like, hopefully maybe the controls are so good that it's like you should play this game.
It might honestly, it might end up being really good.
It could,
I'll reserve judgment for reviews, but
Totally.
based on what they've shown so far, I'm like, this shit is fucking ultra generic, and I just can't.
Yeah,
I can't get into it. I'm not hyped. That's all.
Yeah, the plot is so disinteresting, and yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you.
It could be a really good game. I'm not hyped. That's all.
Yep, I'm literally words right out of my mouth. It's like, I want to be hyped for this. I really do. It looks beautiful. Like there's so much.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to. Yeah, there's a lot to like about it. It just, it's not
capturing me.
Yeah,
it's not capturing like I want it to. I think we want to like this game. We just can't. We can't will ourselves to like it, which is so sad. That's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, maybe 8-year-old me would be all over this shit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'd say that.
You know,
also, the character design just looks so generic. I think the character design also throws me off a bit.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, another tattooed guy. Oh.
Right. Yeah, 8-year-old me would be drawing like the gauntlet and stuff in his notebook at school. Like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, the gauntlet does look pretty cool. I like it as a tool to like kind of like give it like a gun but not a gun feel to it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that. We're not going to show a trailer, but Fortnite showed off its new season. I do want to just give a call out to how Optimus Prime looks so awkward being so short.
There's a lot of models that show up in Fortnite. I'm like, it doesn't. You're gonna pay money for that? Okay.
Yeah. Optimus Prime is just. I'm used to seeing Optimus Prime topple over so many people, but he looks like he looks so short. It's so off-putting because it's just not how I see him in real, in everything else. Also, I'm not gonna go see that movie, unfortunately. I'll just wait for it on streaming. I heard it's better. I heard it's better than a lot of the other films from Transformers, but it's just I need them to reboot it. I'm kind of. I need them to start over. But speaking of starting over, let's talk about that Final Fantasy Rebirth trailer.
Rebirth.
One more thing. Starting off with something that has never been seen in any of the games before, which is apparently there was a tornado, and they're all being carried off by Shinra, except for there's no Cloud, but that's never happened in the games before. So
I didn't watch this trailer when it came out. So I was at work when Summer Game Fest was on, and when I got home to watch the rest of everything, Maximilian Dude had already had his
breakdown.
So when I logged into YouTube, Maximilian Dude's video was like one of the first ones that popped up, and it was his reaction to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer. And I was like, God damn it! Like, all right, I gotta watch his reaction first before I finish the rest of the Summer Game Fest. And he said some interesting things, and I already know, like, okay, so I haven't finished Remake yet, but I already know that they're fucking with the timeline and they're doing stuff with the story, and it's actually a sequel. It's not really, spoiler alert, it's actually a sequel. It's not really a retelling of the game.
Yeah, they basically like they fight. The ghost things you're fighting are elements of fate, and they basically defeat it. So they're showing that they're not following the same timeline as the original.
Yeah, so Maximilian Dude was like, yeah, there's a Zack timeline and a Cloud timeline. And I guess the theory is, based on what they've shown in this trailer, is that there will be elements of both of these new timelines or whatever. I'm kind of intrigued, actually. I'm probably gonna finish Remake. I really hate the Nomura having children bullshit that they throw in there, but I'm along for the ride. And if they can tweak a few of the combat things,
Well,
it
about
might
you were
make it
about to
might.
say that I only interrupt because they did add some stuff which you're about to show off right now, which is characters do dual combos together.
Yeah, it almost looks like
A
kind
tag
of
team.
like a like a Chrono Trigger type thing. Yeah. Um, so yeah, if there's some stuff that they can tweak in the combat system, then it'll make it a little more bearable to play, and I'll be more interested. But I think it looks good. It looks beautiful. I mean, remake looks beautiful too, and
This game's just so gorgeous. Oh my god.
they've nailed the feel like in high def of like what these environments and what the characters and stuff are like. So yeah, it looks interesting. I'm gonna play it on Steam because I have remake on Steam. So this game for me is probably a 2025 game.
Yeah, because this
Which
comes out for PS5 only so far.
yeah, it'll be
There's no
PS5
announced PC version.
exclusive.
There's no announced PC version. That's the crazier part. It just said PS5
Well,
only.
yeah, I feel like they're gonna do well. That's what they did with remake too, and then it showed up on Epic
No, no,
Game
no, no.
Store.
They did say PS5 and PC when they originally announced the title.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
well
is
we'll
the
see if
first
this.
time where it only just said PS5 only.
All right, well we'll see if this does leave PS5. Yeah,
Which
and
also is interesting
on
that
two
they
discs.
well it also shows interesting that like we have still not seen this come to Microsoft. So
Oh yeah, yeah, and Microsoft has a pretty good relationship with Square right now. So,
do
yeah,
they?
I feel like they do. There's been a few titles that have shown up on Game Pass and stuff like that.
But like
Like Octopath was on there, and
have they released a recent title on Microsoft's hardware recently? I think Sony's kind of bought up all their major exclusives. Like the new
I
Final Fantasy
I
is
have no
coming out
idea.
exclusive for PS5.
Yeah, I mean Sony might have bought that up. They might have bought the rights for all that stuff.
But oh my god, yeah, it looks like we're actually getting a legit open world environment this time around with I think some
Yeah,
funneling occasionally like funneled into areas.
so my thought is it's going to be like 12. It's going to be like Final Fantasy 12, where you have these large areas in between the towns and
Hmm.
cities that you
Yeah.
can explore, but it's not really open.
Oh yeah, no, no,
There's
no.
just like
Yeah, I think
there's going to be a few there's going to be a few exit points on these larger connecting areas
totally.
probably, which I don't think is a bad way to do it, honestly.
No, especially if it
If
looks like
if you're
this.
Well, if you're not going to have a traditional overhead map open world, then yeah, connecting areas is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, and then apparently the way Sephiroth said something, it sounds as if, and even they said it in the past trailer, the first trailer, it sounds like Tifa should be dead. That
Yeah,
this is the new twist.
I was gonna say I think that's part of the other timeline maybe or whatever. But
Yeah. Or
yeah,
maybe
we'll see.
Sephiroth's
We'll
just
see.
saying it to like maybe throw off Cloud and his allegiance to the crew that he's with. I mean, there's a lot that can happen, but there's also a new
Well,
female. I don't recall if there was a female corporate.
female Turk? No, yeah, she's new. She's a new character. Um, it'll be interesting if you can choose because like a remake has a lot of filler, a lot of extra shit that like was not in the original game.
But I liked some of
So
it. I mean, I'll admit I cared to grow affection for. Now I forgot her name though. Um, when went to go see her parents in a different sector.
oh, we're talking about Jesse?
Yeah, I grew to like actually have a little more affection for Jesse than I did in the original title.
Yeah, and people talked about Biggs and Wedge and how their characters developed some more. But I'm wondering if they're gonna open it up in this, like, whether you can pick or choose whether or not Aerith, Eris, or Tifa dies. And
No,
I
I
wonder if
don't think
that's
you.
gonna.
I don't think you'll get to pick. I think they'll be predetermined. They'll decide.
Do you think so? I
Yeah.
think you'll get to pick. I think you'll get the option that if you want, all right. So if you were a fan of the original game and you always wanted to be able to save Eris or Aerith, um, I think this is your opportunity, but by doing so, you lose Tifa,
Nah,
and that's like the ultimate like, oh fuck, that's a
nah.
hard decision
I
then.
think they've hardlined so hard to say like we are deciding this story for you and it is not the same as what you've experienced before that they'll never give you a choice.
Maybe
I
I
think
don't know.
I think if anything, I expect them to throw a 180 and not kill Aerith. And I actually would be shocked if they kill her.
Either of the
Spoiler
characters
alert.
saying, yeah, well, yeah. Spoiler alert on a
But
24
yeah,
year
but
old game.
it's also there's a whole nother
20.
game. So like who knows? Maybe none of them die. Or maybe it's a plot, maybe it's like a cliffhanger is like you're not sure if they killed Tifa at the end of the game and it leads to the final game.
Well, that's the other thing too, is the how much of the original is going to be in this game.
Yeah. How far do you get
So
basically? Like
yeah,
are you going to
the
see Vincent by now or
you
you
should see.
should.
All right, so I
Agreed.
think if they do it if they do it around the same as the original, then the second disc should take you all the way through to the icy bits. I can't remember what the area is called. I just talked to somebody on Twitter about this the other day too. There's like a halfway point where you have to go through this ice area.
Mhm.
And that's like the halfway point of the original game.
Yeah, before you meet Sid, I think.
No, I think you've already met Sid at that point.
But you don't have the flying
You have
could
Highwind. Well, that's it. Yeah. So, like, how do they deal with Highwind? Because if you have the airship, yeah, is it open world or is it,
I bet you if that airship they'll probably be like, here's a map, select where you want to go, and then they'll just like fly over the area or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting too because the original game was 3 discs that was released all at the same time, and this is going to be 3 discs released all at different times. Well, no, more than 3 discs. This
Yeah.
could be four or five
Five it'll
discs.
be
Who
either
knows?
5 to 5 yeah, it could be a lot.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish remake. And I'm more interested in playing this because you forced me to play remake. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. Because now you're like, oh my god, I need to know what happens because they're changing everything. Everything is different
I'm
now.
more yeah I'm more interested for sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm just thoroughly excited. You know, I really enjoyed remake, and I'm just excited to see the story continue. And it hasn't been like 7 years since we got the last game, so like I feel as if we actually will get the final title within like a reasonable amount of time. Because what we played the remake came
Yeah.
out 2020.
Yeah. It
So it's
was
only been 3 years
early.
between titles, and they had a
Yeah.
DLC in between. Like that's really good production, and also really good development time. Like they're cranking these out, and you know, to be honest, I don't think people want a drastic change between the combat, which also kind of helps. They don't have to evolve too much. They can just like
Yeah,
add
it's the
little
same engine.
bits. They
Yeah,
want
it's the
the
same
same
engine for
engine. They
sure.
want the same combat system because they don't want it to be drastically different between titles. It is interesting to say that they did say you don't have to play the first one to be able to play the second one. Like if you didn't play the first one, new gamers could step into the second one and do a-okay. So I wonder if there's like a
They'll
recap or
probably
something.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'll probably do like what Mass Effect did, where you had that the intro sequence in
Yeah.
the comic, the action comic.
Yeah, and they're like, choose the
So
decision.
they'll probably do something like that where like here's everything you need to know. All right, we'll drop you into the new game.
Yeah,
So
I think we're big thumbs up on this one. Just uber excited to play it. It's just like
honestly, so like my one of my biggest issues with the remake is that it all takes place in Midgar.
yeah,
The original game doesn't really pick up until after you leave Midgar. Once you leave Midgar, it's like, oh wow, and that's where Midgar is kind of like Tutorial Island. So for them to make an entire 60-hour game around just Midgar it's kind of fucking weird.
well,
Um,
I think once, but I think the whole effect you're talking about is even more effective when you have a whole game in Midgar, and then you come into the second game and everything's just open.
Maybe, yeah.
I think you'll get that same effect. I think it just will be a greater effect because you spent more time in Midgar like we talked about earlier, having more development with some of the secondary characters that you didn't get the first time. I feel like from one that has played 7 more recently, like the original 7, I think I played it like, was it like 4 years ago or something like that when we were doing podcasts back then. But like I
I've played
think
it since then,
from playing it then and finishing it and then now playing like remake, I felt like it was like the extended edition. And it was an extended edition I wanted. Like I got way more character time. I got to like explore Midgar a little bit, and like I got to see some things I never got to see before. And I think the realization of like how massive Midgar was, I finally got to like feel it in comparison.
Right. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I was really frustrated by the fight with the house.
Oh yeah, I don't like that one either. Don't worry. I think we all hate it because it changes elementals so quickly, and you have to flip them.
Dude, it was like, I spent
it's
like 45 minutes, 45 minutes or an hour. I spent on that fucking battle, dude. And I was like, dude, this is in the original game. This is like 5 minutes tops. And I was in that shit for an hour. That was my night. That was all the gaming I had done was just that battle.
I will tell you now, Burkoff, that is the worst boss battle of the game, and it doesn't get worse from there. I think for me, the final battle, I struggled a little bit, but that was just because I was under-leveled, and so I just used a ton of potions. But besides that, like the house was the worst boss battle of the entire game. Besides that, it's all good. You'll be fine. You got through the worst part of it.
It was the only one that I wiped on and had to reload. And it was the only one that I've had to use Phoenix Downs to. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was.
But just make sure you do the side stuff before you go to the final stuff, because you do need to level up to get yourself at a decent level for the final boss.
Yeah, I'm doing the side stuff as I go along. I'm at the right now. I just finished the ghost boss in the train yard.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there.
I'm progressing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting there. Awesome. Well, that was Keighley's final last surprise. So, Burkoff.
Yeah.
If you have to give Keighley a grade, what are you giving it?
The Dorito Pope gets an A-.
Oh wow! Wow.
It was fun. It was a good show. Like there was a lot of stuff that I didn't expect. It was a lot of stuff that, like, the pacing was good. I felt like overall too. So yeah, A-.
I'm going. God, I kind of want to agree with you. I really want to go
like one thing after another. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I really want to go B+, but like, to be honest, like the dude had fucking Final Fantasy. He was even able to poach Spider-Man release date. We even learned that Eddie Brock is not Venom, which, I mean, is awesome. Like, Insom has been very open about how much they want to write original Spider-Man stories that you don't get anywhere else, because if you want to go, you just go read the comic, right? Or if you go watch the movie, like, write your own Spider-Man story that's like really captivating. The fact it's not Eddie Brock, I am captivated. I like that a lot.
I tweeted out, I was like, one of my favorite Venoms was Flash Thompson. And maybe not a lot of people know about him as Venom in the comics, but it was a good run.
Yeah, wasn't he Venom in the animated series?
I don't think so.
No, that was Eddie Brock.
Yeah, Eddie Brock was so Flash Thompson was the Venom in the comics from 2013 to 2017 or something.
Gotcha. Okay, but yeah, I just they were able to get that. Like they just had surprises. I like thoroughly surprised in a showcase. Haven't seen that in a while. Like,
well, and I felt like stuff got the limelight that wouldn't normally get the limelight. Like Sandland, that would have been fucking overlooked.
So Prince of Persia probably would have been overlooked as well a little bit.
Yeah,
because they would have been like, oh, it's just a side-scrolling Prince of Persia, but then you're like, well, this is fucking amazing. Like, this is really good.
Yeah, well, the Star Trek game for sure. That would have been like people would have forgot about that shit.
A Pokemon
Um,
with guns. No one would
Pokemon
forget
with
that.
guns. Yeah. Um, Honestly, Liza P might not have had a good showing because who was going to put that in their showcase, you know?
Right.
Um,
I'm with you. A minus. Like Keely.
Witchfire, I'm excited about Witchfire. I think that's going to be a cool game.
Yeah.
I would have never paid attention to it if it, but it was featured here. So,
I think he had a
yeah,
good mixture of high budget games, some B tier B tier slash like double A games, and then having some of those indies that are like really showstoppers. I mean, the man put on a show that I didn't think he could ever do. My expectations were down here, and
yeah. Well, that's
he
what it
just
was. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we had our expectations in check, being like, this isn't going to be a great experience potentially. Like, we saw how other showcases were looking, and so we're like, is there really going to be anything? Microsoft's going to hang on to everything because they need it for their thing. So like, the
yeah.
fact that PlayStation gave them things and Microsoft gave them nothing.
Well, maybe Liza P, like, because as a Game Pass game.
Yeah, but I've never seen it like promoted for on Xbox's shows ever.
No, but it could have been this time, just because it is some more dangling fruit. You know what I mean?
But that's one title. Like, they
Yeah,
Sony
I
gave
don't
them
know. Yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's like uh, it seems like Keighley has a really good relationship with PlayStation, because
yeah.
I mean, he got Neil Druckmann last year, he got Spider-Man this year, and like, yeah, he didn't get the first gameplay feature, but he got tons of info, including date, info on the
Well,
characters.
honestly, even the Ed Boon
Yeah,
interview,
totally. I
and Mortal Kombat 1, like being the place where they showed off, what this game is going to be and some of the new mechanics like that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what I loved about old E3, and I think Keighley brought it, and I think this is what I think this is why I'm giving it such a high score. He used the developers to talk about their games. He brought them on stage. They showed off a title. They said,
Yeah,
hey, let's bring them out. Let's have a conversation with them really quick. And we got new snippets about stuff. And I love that. That's what I loved about E3. When we would like show off a game, the developer would come out and chat for a quick minute, saying, I'm so excited to show off our title. And Keighley kind of replicated that, and I think we haven't had that in a very long time, because of the showcases are usually just, you know, president of Sony or
yeah, yeah.
or Jesus, what's his name that I want fired? Um,
Phil, Big Phil.
Big Phil's just out there, or just like, oh, we're really excited about all our titles that you're never gonna see ever again. But like, it's just, I think Geoff Keighley brought back what we liked about E3 with those presentations, and I think he nailed it. I just like,
He did bring a lot of energy too. Like I felt like he was more hyped than he's been.
I think the audience
Like
helped, especially
maybe,
that they,
yeah.
I mean, they were going crazy, and especially, oh my god, like I have to say the highlight moment was the speaking of Final Fantasy, and they all go crazy, and he's like, DoorDash got your back, and they all just go like, ah.
Yeah.
And then he instantly goes, no, not that, not that.
Honestly, like it's Keely's fun to make fun of, but he is kind of a classic guy, and he's not a bad host. You know what I mean?
I think he's not a bad host for this. This is his
Yeah,
bread
yeah,
and butter.
yeah,
Game
totally.
Awards is a different story. No offense. I think Game Awards is just a little more like poshy, whereas this is his bread and butter. It's about the video game developers. He's interviewed them
Right,
for
right.
years. The Game Awards
Yeah,
is about showstoppers,
celebration. Yeah,
presentations, and that's not his style. His style is, get me a developer, let me get at them, let me pull some info from them, because like,
right.
there are things that he pulls, and I can say for a fact there are things he pulls from developers they don't originally want to announce like, or want to
Yeah,
say, but he pulls it out of them even when it's not like planned to be said. And like, he does that so well. This is where he rocks. that's why I say he always should do this and not touch the Game Awards as host.
Right. Even if he's like, just running shit in the background.
I mean, even if he like came out for like a couple segments, cool. But like have a main host that's not him for the Game Awards. But this is his bread and butter.
I wouldn't be mad if Sydney Goodman stepped up. I think she could do it.
I don't know who that is.
She's the one that does the pre
No.
pre-game award stuff.
I don't want her either.
You don't think so?
No.
I think she
keep her to the pre-awards. I want someone with a little more pizzazz. No offense. She's not she's a little too, no offense, she comes off very fake to me. Just saying. She just comes off fake. I want someone like genuine. Like fuck, get Keanu Reeves on that stage. heck, you got Nicolas Cage on the stage here at Summer Games Fest. Have him host the awards because he sounded
Nick Cage. Oh my god.
He was so fascinating to talk about games. And then he's like, oh yeah, I really want to work in more games. And I just instantly go like, let's hire him. Come on. Whatever people are working on, get them on your projects. I want to see Nick Cage in more games. But
I'm not mad about that.
But we have spent a full almost 2 hours talking about this show.
All right. I think it's about time we head out then.
Well, hold on. Thank you for listening or watching. We are Pixel Pints. Follow us at Pixel_Pints at Twitter or on Instagram at Pixel Pints Pod when we go live each and every single weekend here on twitch.tv/Pixel Pints. We archive our episodes on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcasting services around the globe. We may have a special stream tomorrow morning.
Yeah, maybe.
Depends
on how much I drink tonight.
Watch Twitter. Watch Twitter very carefully. Hey, we're ending a show and it's not even midnight. It's crazy.
I know, right?
It's crazy. But as Burkhoff always says, what's the magic words?
And on that note, we're out. That's what I said. That was a good show. Unpacking. Honestly, we didn't talk about some of the stuff. Lord of the Rings, maybe.
Yeah, a bunch of miners and like going like, oh my god, is this just your standard edition building sim, but it's Lord of the Rings with miners?
I don't know.